Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, we are no different from one another. And so, and I'm very, let's extend that to our brothers and sisters. There may be differences in a household in their various countries, but that shouldn't set us apart. We should continue with diplomacy, speak to them. There's always a reason why there's some conflict somehow happening. And we should also be able to identify the people behind these conflicts, where the weapons are coming from, and how we can improve the quality of life of our people. Our youth needs help, and this applies to almost every corner of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll give the floor to Honorable Nsafoa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nominee, I would like to once again congratulate you. Mr. Chairman, I want to premise my question on a release from the ministry. Allegations on issuance of Ghanaian passport to foreigners. Deputy Minister nominee, there are a lot of weaknesses within our embassies. Delay of passports, extortion, poor working condition, passport frauds. All these are weaknesses within our embassies. As a Deputy Minister nominee, how are you going to work with your minister to ensure that some of these weaknesses within the embassies will be dealt with? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I'm very happy that Honorable Member is asking this question because it's in the minds of many people. There's a policy in place. I just had my briefing at the ministry a couple days ago. There's policies in place, and I'm sure some has been demonstrated by introducing this new passports with a chip embedded, which is not easy to forge. You need a primary identification in order to be able to process one of those. So I'll work along with my sector minister, and then we can be on the same page to work to make things much better for, again, we have to enforce we have to do some enforcement to make sure. See, all these rules and regulations are in place, but if we don't apply enforcement, we're not going to get anywhere. So that is one area that I'm going to add my strength to the ministry to make sure that we don't take enforcement for granted. Thank you.
Any further question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The nominee, your experience, having lived in Canada for so many years. I mean, Canada, US have a lot of things in common. And quite recently, Ghana is having a bit of challenge between the diplomatic relations between Ghana and US, which has even resulted in some 3 months visa and then single entry and all that. This requires a deep, high-level diplomatic engagement. Having known you, your experience traveling afar and all this on, how do you blend your experience to support your minister to deal with some of these challenges that we are having with our US-Ghana relations?
Thank you, Chairman. I believe most of these bilateral relationships, Ghana and the US had a common understanding of a 5-year visa, that if an American citizen was coming here, he would get 5-year duration of a visa and vice versa. Unfortunately, as we all know, there's been some nationalistic administration with Trump's presidency, which is affecting a lot of issues. And I personally believe that with some diplomacy, because this has not been anything official presented to the government of Ghana as yet. So we are just going to have to apply and intensify our diplomacy to make sure that we're able to reciprocate this. And of course, if things are not working in our favor, we also have other tools we can work with. So I want to assure you that I will be working closely with Minister Brakwa with my experience and exposure to make sure some of these things are addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I once again want to congratulate you and also admonish that, I mean, your composure and your temperament would be a good blend to your minister, so that at least the ministry will have some very cool atmosphere around the ministry. I would want to congratulate you once again and wish you well. The committee would also be willing and ready to help you perform. Thank you.
Thank you,
very
Chairman,
much.
and I want to thank my colleague here.
I
Thank
will
you.
give the floor to Honorable Seidu. Cletus.
Dapla, yes, Vice Chairman, Foreign Affairs Committee. My senior brother, Uncle Kwesi, congratulations. I would not ask you a question, except to commend you for your determination and tenacity to hold the fort since you veered into the political arena of Mother Ghana. I know you've gone through a Herculean task in this career. I have been very close to you and I've interacted with you. I know you are going into the ministry to support your boss to deliver the mandate of Ghana's foreign policy. And I have no doubt that if you get the blessings of this committee, you will deliver. You will give that support to the Honorable Ablakwa. The two of you, I know you can gel very well. So for me, it's just to say that God will give you the energy, the resilience to support your boss to deliver on Ghana's foreign mission policy. And that is all that I want to tell you. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Honorable
Thanks for your
member.
comment.
I will then give the floor to Honorable Van der Poy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me also add my voice to thanking His Excellency for nominating you. And you and I have worked together in many ways and in many activities. So I know what you can do. I'm happy to see you where you are seated. You are going into a ministry that has a high demand on our national agenda. And I know that you are going to support our Minister Abrakwa in that ministry. One question. I want you to take the opportunity to assure this committee of your readiness and your support to the minister to ensure that he delivers the agenda of moving Ghana's image to the highest level. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, my good friend. I recognize that as well, and I want to thank the President, Mahama, for his nomination of myself. I know that this is a ministry that is a pivotal to the country's development. So with my experience and exposure, again, we are going to line up a lot of stakeholders, I can assure you, at least in Canada and US, to bring in resources, technology, IT, as much as we can to improve our economy so that our youth can get some gainful employment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Aliklim Akurugu, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations, Uncle, as I affectionately call you when I meet you in the chamber. You're going to work with a minister who is old enough to be your son. How are you going to cope with him? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I know Africa has a very extreme culture where children listen to their parents. So I'm hoping, and I'm sure and I'm certain that Minister Blakwa and I, as I said earlier, have a relationship that dates back since 2021. And we are going to continue with our relationship and make sure, because you see, when he succeeds, I succeed. So we're going to succeed together. Thank you.
Any further question?
Thank you. Yes, please. I'm told, or I've heard, that other countries, including Nigeria, our neighboring country, anytime they apply for visas in foreign embassies and they are not accepted, the monies are refunded. How is Ghana going to adopt this as well? Thank you.
Yes, I think this is administrative policy, again, sector policy that we have to look into, because I personally believe that most of these so-called advanced countries are milking our people. On an average, most African youth, because of lack of opportunities, want to travel outside. A visa is not cheap. Even just the application form alone is about $160, which could be a month or 2 months' pay for some of our youth on a labor. And this means these embassies are collecting this money and denying almost 90% to 95% of them. We have to find a way to streamline this to save youth the money. Most of these countries are using that as a revenue to support their embassies. And if we don't know that, we think that, oh, they're rich countries, so they're able to afford to set up embassies. That's not the case. Most of the revenues are coming from us to support their embassies, and we've got to find a way to put an end to that. Thank you. And I work with my minister to make sure any policy that we put together will be something that can be of interest. Because you see, foreign policy is not about protecting the foreign or the foreign nations only. First and foremost, it should be protecting us. It should be reciprocated. Our domestic policy is what we extend to the foreign policy. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, no further questions. I'm wishing you all the best, Uncle.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of Honorable Omar. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. I always call my big brother old soldier. Old soldier, congratulations. I'm so happy for you today. And ever since your nomination was announced, haven't stood your grounds, and also a trailblazer for the Bintus. I know you understand the Bintus. As a Bintu, this position, you become ambassador, you become a trailblazer, and you will become the conduit for others in the diaspora to come back home and serve their nation, having acquired a lot of knowledge and experience that this country needs. My question to you today, and we're going to have some discussion. Will you consider, I know you are not the main minister, to outsource your visa processing to third party so that we won't have a lot of backlog, particularly in the diaspora. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I want to understand my colleague clearly, it's about visa applications for Ghanaians in the diaspora coming back home. Thank you. You see, that is why I think about 3 years ago, we tabled an amendment to not the visa applications, but we did table, if I recall, refresh my memory, that dual citizenship amendment bill. This is something that we have to take very important as a nation, because we look at our GDP and remittances from the diaspora alone is one of the major contributors, along with our gold and our cocoa. Those are the three leading income GDP for the nation. And to just look at that and not tap into the wealth, the knowledge, the experience, and add it to what we already have home, we'll be doing ourselves disservice. A lot of nations have recognized that. Even the UK does that. But here we are, and I'm sure all of you are testimony to what I went through, just to be part of the system, to try to pave a way for others to come. I know I have a lot of followers who are looking to see the success story, and I want to thank every one of you here. I know there was tremendous support from the House, even my brothers and sisters on the other side, who will reach out to me personally to encourage me. Even though it wasn't a party policy, they came out in their own humane sense to come and give me encouragement. And these are some of the people that kept me going. And the more reason why I asked for us to bow or stand at least for a moment for our brother who has left us. You see, nobody should be going through such things. So I'll kindly come back to the House. One of these days we have the Professor Asari, popularly known as Kweku Azar, who championed this dual amendment, citizenship dual amendment, thing that we can all make sure that our children, our grandchildren can come back and bring the expertise and the income and the resources. And I personally know a lot of my counterparts who are heavily invested, but just afraid to leave everything and come, because if they come, they've lost their investments. If they know they can have both ways, they'll bring this investment. Not everyone is coming for politics. There are investors out there, there are scientists, there are IT experts, professors, and all of them. So, answer to your question is, my brother, I'll work tirelessly along with my minister to see how best, and also with the House, to see how we can pass this dual amendment bill. That will eradicate the challenges they have. But in the meantime, before that goes into effect, I'll work with Minister Blackwell to make sure that we can facilitate a quick process for them to get a visa if they intend to come to their homeland. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to policy. Foreign policy. Are we still non-aligned?
Well, Ghana has always been aligned. From foundation, from our Independence Day, thanks to our great visionary, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Sajifo. When we got independence, he was championing an aligned movement. You see, what it puts a country in a line, you are more stable, because policies and systems and ideologies keep changing with population growth and challenges in managing communities all the same. So to be non-aligned is the best, I think, and so Ghana answer is we're still non-aligned for what I know. But also I will work with Minister Ablakwa to make sure that that is the direction of the government that we are. Of course, I cannot part from government policies, but if there's a need for me to advocate, I will do so. Thank you.
Comrade and old soldier, I wish you the best. Congratulations.
Thank you, my brother. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable Patrick Yao Boma.
Thank you very much, Chair. Congratulations, my very, very, very good friend and senior brother. We're all proud of you. It's not a question, but to bring your mind to some of the issues that our foreign service officers go through. I advise that you take a very close look at that. There's an issue in one of the neighboring countries. I don't want to mention it, very, very sensitive before us, that I'll be discussing with you. You need to support your minister, look at the affairs of our foreign service officers. They go through a lot. Some of them life-threatening, and we must look at it. Secondly, if I heard you right, I stand to be corrected. Are you, in a way, saying that we should make things flexible for nationals, African Americans, and non-Ghanaians to acquire citizenship of Ghana and to bring into this country the investment that we require? I just want to be clear on that before I ask my question.
Thank you, Chairman. When I made that comment or statement, I was referring at this point in time strictly to our Ghanaian nationals who are outside, not non-Ghanaian nationals. Thank you.
Well, that's very clear because I chair the subsidiary legislation committee, and before us are some proposals to increase the fees for non-Ghanaians, African Americans who want to acquire Ghanaian citizenship. And it's increased. The proposal is between $10,000 to $25,000. And you must also show proof that you are coming into the country to invest not less than $250,000. So those are some of the things that we'll be considering on Monday at the committee. That's why I asked you, but it has nothing to do with you. But I wish you well. You are one of my very good friends in the House, and you've exhibited tenacity and courage, and we are all behind you to support my good friend and Okujeto Ablakwa. But don't be tweeting at 2 a.m. on oral stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Patrick Yaboma. I'll give the floor to Honorable Haji Aladi.
Thank you, Chairman. My brother, congratulations.
Thank you, my sister.
Your appointment is well deserved. What I recall about you is when we were at Asin North and then the rain was pouring down so heavily. You were drenched in your T-shirt and we were also struggling and trying not to slip and fall. We said, God, just help us. And he did. You are a fighter, you fought. I think I had the courage, but I don't have your type of courage. But I know where it is coming from. Continue to have that courage. You are going to be the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, and the one you are going to deputize is someone who is so open, very open. He says it as it is. And I also saw that in you even before you won the Asin North supposed by-election that we came for. So I know you are going to be able to work. What will you do specifically to support your minister? I just want one thing. I don't want more than two. Just one. One thing you will do to support your minister, because you have seen it all, to ensure that our people who are being deported, especially from the US, they are supported by our own persons there, especially the embassies, so that they come back home safely and that they are properly communicated to understand that, look, after all, if you travel to another man's land and it's not good, you go back to your own land. What will you do specifically to support him?
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, my sister. It's a very brilliant question. This is something that it just doesn't take diplomacy alone. Sometimes you need to understand the dynamics of how these cultures that we are alien to, how it works. And I know I have an inside knowledge and strength that I can support it to Minister Ablakwa to make sure that we put certain institutions in place. Sometimes it's not just the embassy alone we need. We need a support system attached to these embassies so that some of our nationals who are out there can go there for support. You see, most of these embassies are closed after certain hours. You have individuals who are out there, sometimes can't even stay in their own homes because they are afraid they'll be arrested and deported. Nobody wants to travel and just be taken by surprise to be brought home, unprepared. Some of them don't even own a bank account, for that matter, because they're afraid that, where's the identification to open a bank account? You're working under the table, they call it there, which means it's not documented employment, and then you keep all your money with you, or hopefully you get somebody you can trust to hold it for you, whatever the person decides to change their mind on you. So there's a lot of work we need to do in such areas, especially the major hotspots like New York, Toronto, UK, like London, and all those areas we need to put. And I'll be working with Minister Ablakwa to enlighten some of these challenges that some of our people are going through down in those major communities and cities and countries. So my sister, be rest assured that I think the President, in his wisdom, made a good choice adding me to this sector so that we can make it grow and make Ghana a better place. If we improve our country here, most of those youth out there would not even find their way out. They would rather come home and work for us. Thank you.
My second question, Chairman, to the nominee is, if you observe the issue of those who actually travel and go and get either even some of them killed in these Saharan places, some in the sea, some don't even go anywhere, they are killed. Mostly they are youth. A few times I have watched some documentaries, they are boys, very strong ones. Except maybe one or two at a time you may see a girl. Most of them are our energetic youth. Will you ensure that you lace hand in hand with the support and agreement of your minister to talk to our embassies across, not even to the Western world, our own African continent, the countries that they cross, so that these people are given the opportunity where you will meet them, talk with them, and encourage them to rather go back, instead of allow them, because they are afraid, they try to hide, and eventually they get trapped and killed. Will you get them so that you could talk, come together, and you, with your experience, you would help in ensuring that they are given that communication to come back rather than pursue? what they are doing. Because even recently, we've heard of people being taken to nowhere but just Abidjan. What are the things that you, will you do that to make sure that you support us to get our youth to stay back? Just a yes or no answer. Will you do that?
Thank you, Chairman. I will offer yes or no answer. I think what I will add to is that we should beef up our communication here in the country as well. We will liaison with the Ministry of Communication to feature some of these things so that the youth would understand. Because you see, when you're desperate, anybody can lure you into something that you heard about a QNet and all that. They take them out there. They find a way to extort the little money they have, and then they leave them stranded. So yes, we would have to collaborate with the various embassies to make sure. And what I'm saying about communication is also because if we don't step up the communication, most of these youth even end up there and they avoid authorities. So how are you even going to encounter them sometimes? Except when they are in a very extreme hardship before they will seek. But then we should be able to have some counselors attached to our various embassies who can counsel this youth, whilst at the same time we're also stepping up our communications in the country. If we can engage with the media houses to let them explain such challenges that some of these youth will go through. And you are right, my sister. I read about these things in the Sahel Desert. There was some family that came to Canada. It was very bitter winter. By the time they crossed the snow, it was winter time. A couple of them, their legs had to be amputated. How would you travel to just go lose your, physical being? So we will work along those lines with Minister, and then I'm hoping that the youth will understand better now. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Last but not the least question, the issue of passports. The acquiring of passports by most Ghanaians is still a difficult one. I'm not talking of cost. I'm talking of process. Today, because we all talk digitalization, we tend to forget that some of us are BBC, born before computers. And most of our people in our communities are people who even do not know how to go onto the computer, let alone to apply for a passport. But we have that problem. And that notwithstanding, the whole of the Upper East will have to travel to Tamale before you get a passport. What will you do to ensure that there is decentralization of passport offices?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I think my sister has hit the nail on the head. Thankfully, I was at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs 2 days in a row to get some briefings, and I was informed that they are opening passport application centers. Almost the mandate is to get it in every region. And in fact, some areas, some large populated regions, they may get 2 or 3 outlets. So I can assure you that given, it's a new process that they have entered. Now we have I believe 2 to 3 weeks, passports are ready to be issued. The challenge they said they were having is about delivery because of the way our address system is, and also the courier service that they have to use. So sometimes that is the only challenge, but they are working on it to make sure that almost every region should have an outlet. They should have a passport application center, and they are also going to improve on the courier system. And I'll work with Minister Blakwa at the same time to make sure that we are in this together and encourage it, because that should be the order of the day. Nobody should be traveling all the way from, say, Posiga to Kumasi or to Tamale for a passport. The risk that is involved, we all know the rate of road accidents, so it's all part of the work in progress. Thank you.
Thank you too, my brother. I wish you all the best. More grease to your elbows and work harder, because we'll be coming around and sending our people to you. I have refused to give you my mantra because I want to ensure that you actually work hard. If I just say congratulations, bye-bye, and go, you will not work hard. So thank you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, my sister. Save that for future day, and I'm sure I will impress you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, Honorable Jerry Amerishayu.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, the nominee is my very best friend in Parliament. He's a very well-composed person. He knows I don't joke with him. It's just that we are in the line of duty, so I'll be very nice to him. I said I'll be very nice to me. Listen, you're always looking for trouble. I commend you highly for this nomination. I just want to ask you a few questions. The first one is that you're aware the embassy has been closed in Washington, and it was opened and the people were asked to come back home. So all the staff who came back home, we are told, are still at home. Were you briefed yesterday on this, and do you know if the ministry has any plans to have them go back to any new postings, and how soon the ministry intends to do that?
Thank you, Chairman. I would say I didn't get a detailed briefing on that, but I'll take a cue from what you've just said, and will be on my list of inquiry to make sure that the policy direction is followed, and we will put things in order. Thank you.
Thank you. My second question, I don't have a follow-up on the first. My second question is that I see you're very opinionated on the issue of dual citizenship, and that you are virtually becoming the prosecutor of dual citizenship, or the prophet of leading the charge. The president released a list of ambassadors. One of them that I know is a very solid person, but he's a South Korean, and I think he's Ghanaian. And I've also followed what happens in South Korea. It looks like you would have to go through a whole lot of processes before saying that you are no more a South Korean. In fact, you cannot say you are no more a South Korean. That's what I've studied or learned. What would you advise on such a scenario? Is there anything you are thinking of to advise your minister and perhaps the president?
Thank you. In regard to the question you just posed, Mr. Chairman, I think it requires a little bit more understanding of the process that it took to arrive at that decision. And I think it's an executive decision. As I have always said, my position, as you said earlier, you're right that I'm a strong advocate for dual citizenship. And you see, there's no place like home. And many of us, even some of our youth, I'm sure some members have even sent their kids outside to study. That was just an opportunity, right? And some have left our shores on their own accord. But the bottom line is that those of us who at least you reach adulthood of 18 plus and you leave your shores, no matter how long you are out there, because of your family ties, your cultural ties, you feel this is where you belong. And so we all as a nation should work towards this direction to make sure that, some of our nationals, dual citizenship or whatnot, should be encouraged to come. And I think that is what I'm championing for. And then, of course, eventually our children and grandchildren can all also come back home. I mean, if we put our country together economically, this country will be one of the most blessed paradise in disguise. We just haven't tapped the top of it yet. This is a blessed country, and I think we should encourage our people to come as much as they can, or even if you live here for advance, maybe for some studies or whatever, you should be able to come back. And I realized that was what was happening in the 60s and 70s. When I was in secondary school at advancement, most of my teachers were returnees. They've gone to Russia, they've gone to the Soviet Union at the time, they've gone, came back as chemistry teachers. Our doctors go to Cuba and come back and help the country. We are trained there and they come here. But to say that, well, you left and you can't come back, or if you come back, just, be a spectator, you can't be part of the process. Yes, your remittance will be received in good faith, but we don't need your help. I think it's something that we are doing damage to ourselves. We got a lot of investors, people. If the doors are open, a lot of them will bring resources to build this country. Thank you.
Chairman, thank you. Just a follow-up. So, in all of this, I remember the very venerable Kofi Annan. He did not take up any citizenship anyway, and he doesn't speak like you. His accent is raw like me from Choko and Wejagbawe. Is there any reason why you speak the way you speak and you took up the citizenship?
Thank you, Chairman. I think my friend is alluding to the fact that I don't even recognize I speak differently, but if that's what he's saying, I don't know how long Kofi Annan was out there, out of Ghana. Maybe he was a full-blown adult before he went. I stayed in Canada 42 years, and I think, at the time, we didn't have as many of our cultural people around us, so you deal with what is available to you, right? So, you deal with your white counterparts, your Caribbean counterparts, and so with time, it affects you when you're not even aware of what is affecting you. So I came back, and now I can speak Twi in idioms because it came just like that. It was in my subconscious mind. So when I started my campaign, I was having challenges a bit. But then even my community were encouraging me to speak English. Even sometimes they didn't understand what I was saying. But, now I can speak full-play Twi, Fanti, so my brother, Chairman, my brother here, at a later time, we will engage and then we will speak a common language together. Thank you.
Very well. Do you have more to go?
Yes, Chair. I want to find out from you your very independent view on LGBTQ+.
My independent view, as a true African, I'm not in favor of LGBTQ. You see, I was in Canada when LGBTQ was liberalized. I was one of the people who was against it in my community. So, answer to the question is that I would never support LGBTQ for cultural reasons, for religious reasons, and for the sanity of our own nation. Thank you.
Thank you. My last question. I just want to find out. Chairman is asking me what my views are. Chairman, I'm not in that chair, but if you want to know, I'm a typical girl boy. I don't know where you get straight. Hello. My uncle is here, don't trap me. Chair, I just want to find out from my very good friend whether or not the 24-hour policy has anything to do with the Foreign Affairs Ministry. Are you doing anything with 24-hour policy, if you know? And if you know, what are those initiatives or actions or plans that the government of the day, and specifically the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is embarking on with reference to your 24-hour policy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not privy to any policy at the Foreign Affairs in regards to 24-hour policy, employment policy, but for what I know is that the Foreign Affairs is always, it's almost a pivotal sector for the country. So we have also a mandate to try to attract and work with investors who are coming in. And it should be in line with the government's policies. So, as I said earlier, if I'm looking to collaborate with Minister Ablakwa to see how we can get some project into the country, that will foster 24-hour economy. I think it should be in line, you know, because then the industries, factories, even other businesses that will come in will be able to be part of this 24-hour economy, because then we will have maybe 2 or 3 shifts of work. So I will not say the Foreign Affairs is alienated from the 24-hour. We are all in this together. Thank you.
Chairman, that's my final question. So you are, yes, but this is a follow-up. So you are not in a position to confirm or otherwise whether the ministry was consulted in the broader consideration of the 24-hour policy design?
Thank you, Chairman. I think answer to that is at this point in time, I'm not. I will learn as we get to the sector. If you give me the nod, and I get there, as you the leader indicated earlier, we're very good friends, and we can always speak even outside the normal frame of arrangement of talk with the House. I can furnish any information that is available. Thank you.
Chair, thank you very much. I want to wish my very good friend very well, and I am praying that he has the support of this committee. He's so much on my heart. He's a very good man.
I think the committee is likely to take unanimous decision. Jerry Ahmed, we are taking unanimous decision.
Chairman, you don't have my leaders, so and I can't jump. It's just my personal view of my friend.
To give the floor
Thank
to
you.
Deputy Ranking, Honorable Patricia Apiaje.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, for this opportunity, and my brother. Honorable Kwesi, I'd like to congratulate you for this. I've been looking at your CV, and I find it very interesting, especially the area where you had to study at John Brown College of Applied Arts and Technology. I was actually wondering, the discipline you undertook in that particular instrumentation and nuclear engineering diploma. Would you mind telling us a little bit of what it entails? Because I'm very much interested in that one.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, if you look back to my resume, the time was sometime in '84 when I graduated in that. As a young man, fast track. When I was at Nsafoa, I took to the O levels, both science and arts. So when I went in as a young man, obviously there was that initial cultural shock. My whole intent was to study and get work and earn a living. I never thought I would be able to integrate into the culture. But once I graduated, you know, sometimes they say destiny is not what you control. I graduated that program in '84, and then there was just in '83, there was a nuclear accident. Because nuclear accident back in the Soviet Union time, there was nuclear accident in the Chernobyl, which is today's Ukraine. Canada also suffered its own minor nuclear reactor accident in Pickering, which is a suburb of Toronto where I was living. The arrangement was that the nuclear agency had a contract with George Brown College of Applied Arts and Technology where they will recruit the students right after graduation. They take you to their site. You are given facility to live. You're paid. And just at '83, this whole dream was shattered. So then our recruitment didn't come on. And the professor was so kind to me that he offered me, I was a TA at the time, he offered me a lab technician to work along with him to train the incoming students. Through that arrangement, I decided then I'll go back to university, and that's when I entered into social sciences. So this is the journey of my life. Why I didn't work with that instrumentation, that was my focus at the time, to go into nuclear science. So thank you very much.
A follow-up, Mr. Chair. Are you aware that currently in Ghana, Ghana is pursuing the opportunity to establish a nuclear energy facility in the country for the use of power and energy? Are you aware of that fact?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I've heard about the talk or discussion on that subject, but I haven't gone deep into it.
And would you recommend, because you know there is a general perception that nuclear power is dangerous, but at the same time, it's one of the safest means and cheapest means of electricity supply and the promotion of industries. Would you recommend? And if you have, I don't know if you still follow it up, which country would you recommend to promote this agenda for the country Ghana? Thank you.
As it stands right now, Ms. Chairman, I think my sister has asked a very intelligent question. But I think globally, most countries that I know are shying away from nuclear energy at this point because of we are all looking at green energy now. So I think that I'm not going to totally, if I'm ever consulted, totally deviate from advising them, but comparatively, I think solar energy will be even more appropriate for a country like Ghana because we got abundant sun, 12 hours of sunlight, and I think that would be even the cheapest way of getting our energy sources. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Having been in that institution, that's a second follow-up. In that field, I was expecting you to rather educate people because we have various usage. Anyway, but I think you really explained your limitation as an initial exploratory. So I'll grant you that one. Thank you very much. And I'll go on to my next observation. You went to Fansipim Secondary School, Ghana. At the time you finished your education, what certification were you given? Because I have here with you me high school diploma. At that time, were they offering high school diploma or GCE and O level? I mean, I don't know. I need that kind of clarification. Would you seek the leave of the chair to correct it if you have to do so? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I think my sister friend here is very critical, and I think it was my putting together as the thought is today to bring awareness or understanding, because most of the panel may not even know what GCO level is all about. So I thought the easiest way to say the diploma is what is offered these days. So we alluded to that. But I stand corrected that there was a GCO level. Thank you.
I asked if you would seek the leave of the chair to correct that information because it's very much required. This is a house of record.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I would like to seek a leave to make a correction on that. Thank you.
Leave granted at request.
Thank you very much, Honorable. On the same educational background, Penworth, is it a preparation school or a preparatory school? Preparation or preparatory? Penworth. Penworth School, the primary school that you attended. Was it a preparation school or a preparatory school? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It was a preparatory school, which means I did 6 years, grade 1 to 6. Thank you, Miss.
So please, would you, as we are asking the leave of the chair, to correct that one too. Thank you. Would you?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a...
Leave consequentially granted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have also observed in your employment history that you were engaged as a policy analyst and as in social services at the Toronto City. And may I please get education on that and how we can relate that to our local governance system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The policy analyst at the city level of Toronto, Employment and Social Services, this is a department where you analyze the budget that is allocated to the metropolitan city. We have a department where we have budget specialists, we have engineers, all city stakeholders, where we formulate budget to determine how to develop a community. And also sometimes it's for maintenance of the community. So unlike here, we don't, unfortunately, maybe we're still growing our economy to a point where everything, as you members or we all know, they call on you, the MP or the DCE. here the institutions actually work. So this is where we are able to sit down and allocate within the municipal the office itself what amount should go to city engineer, what amount should go to infrastructure, community. All budget is where, this is where most of the advocacy happens. So as an analyst, you work along with them. They'll bring their, I guess, proposals and requests, and then you see what is needed for every sector, or not a sector per se, but every department to carry on with their regular duty. They have maintenance issues with vehicles, procurement, and all that. So this is where that direction is. Thank you.
Right, Honorable Chair, I'd like to follow up on that. Honorable nominee, are you aware that in preparing our budget, especially the one pertaining to your constituency, what is the constituency name? Asin North. There's always a preparatory aspect of it where you engage the community, where the planning officers within your district are supposed to engage the community and then come up before the allocations are even made. I want to find out from you, have you ever engaged yourself that way? Because you are an asset. What you did in the city of Toronto could be transferred to your constituency. You are an asset. Are you not in the know, or you've never had the opportunity to transfer that kind of institutional memory to your constituency? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have not had the opportunity, but I know that I'm a member of the Assembly, and so we'll be pursuing that. Again, I don't want to go back to my experience of the last 4 years, because it wasn't a smooth operation for me to be more participatory until this recent times. So yes, I think we will also be able to guide the district engineers and in preparing their budget and those things to see how best we can. Because unfortunately, you see, the money comes in a bulk, or sometimes there's no money at all. So it's so difficult to, unlike the experience I had, your budget is allocated to you, I mean, in entirety, so you can pick and choose and make your own planning as to how to conduct the operations. But yes, I think it's a learning process, again, for our communities. So I'll take that advice as well and try to engage them a little bit more to see how best we can organize a better planning for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable, I'm looking at strengthening diaspora engagement. The Ghanaian diaspora, estimated at over 3 million globally, contributes significantly, according to the Bank of Ghana figures. Even in 2023, they contributed to about 4.3 billion by way of remittances. However, there's such limited consular challenges and barriers to diaspora investment, and this persists continuously. Going into be the deputy for the Foreign Affairs Ministry, how will you enhance diaspora engagement or support your minister to enhance diaspora engagement, improve consular services, and create incentives for diaspora investments in sectors like agriculture and technology? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think the sector, as I spoke, had a meeting with the sector directors, as well as a briefing I had from Minister Blackwell. I think there's a path already where they have created under his own watch what they call delivery section or bureau, you may want to call it, that is going to be more working directly with the embassies to improve what my sister, honorable leader, just said, that I think it's been brought to the attention similarly what you just described. So this is more or less a personal, they are accountable to the minister per se. This new bureau, which is the delivery bureau, is accountable to them. They are going to measure the performances of some of this as an oversight to make sure they address the issues and concerns of the aspirants who are seeking help in those embassies and consular generals. Thank you.
Nominee, my next question is, are you aware that Ghana maintains a non-aligned foreign policy? If no, then you correct me, but if yes, are you aware? Then I'll come up with my follow-up question.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very aware that Ghana is towing the non-aligned move. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Therefore, balancing relationships with the global powers like the United States, China, and the European Union. Recent discussions such as the US-China rivalry over critical minerals in Africa place Ghana in a very delicate position. Given its significant bauxite and lithium deposits, how will you support your minister to ensure Ghana's foreign policy remains independent while maximizing benefit from partnerships with these powers, particularly in securing favorable trade and investment agreements? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think, again, my honorable member has asked a very important question. There's a policy that, executive policy that should align with sector's implementation of such. You cannot individually, as a department, decide what you think is very appropriate for you to do. It has to be in line with the manifesto and government's agenda. It's a collaboration of so many executive and sector decisions that has to go into place. Technocrats and all that has to be on board. So, as I said earlier, we are non-aligned, and we should not be seen as leaning to one side more than the other, because circumstances can always change, and then you find yourself boxed into something you can't get out. So my response to your question is that I'll follow keenly the directives of the ministry as collaborated with the executive, and make sure that I give my maximum effort for achieving what will not put our country in jeopardy. This is first and foremost, Ghana comes first. As President Trump would say, America comes first. He should also know that we also have a country, so we also come first. Thank you.
Thank you. On climate issues, climate change, and environmental diplomacy. It really poses a significant challenge to Ghana, including coastal erosions in areas like Kata and flooding in the north and all that. And it really threatens livelihoods and food security. So it's an issue that we should be looking at carefully. Ghana has committed to the Paris Agreement and seeks international support for climate adaptation. As a deputy, and I know your work is quite broad, what strategies would you support your minister to pursue to position Ghana as a leader in environmental diplomacy, secure climate finance, and ensure that international partnerships address Ghana's specific climate vulnerabilities? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I think green energy is the way to go. Ghana should be seen as investing our resources more in that direction, whether it's hydro, electricity, whether it's transportation. You know, we should be seen as towing that direction, and with that, I'm sure investors in this climate change will really realize that if this is our policy, then they should be more than comfortable to invest, because climate change does not only affect the existing community, or we might say, well, Adan is having flooding and all that, but it affects everybody. It affects our food chain. It affects diseases, whatever comes, you know, the wind does no limit where to blow. And so we all know when some pandemics or whatever happens here, it happens everywhere. So we have to be seen as working towards that. If you're looking for investor support in certain areas, you have to be seen as doing the same, or at least showing the example. You can't be importing in diesel buses when you say you want to tow climate change. At some point, we may not even be driving diesel Land Cruisers anymore. We should be seen as augmenting and changing our life practices that will reflect climate change for our future generation. And so by that means, investors will look at it that we are serious about our policy of green energy, and will put their money. They also know it affects them all the same. Yeah, we have to be mindful that the West or the investors just don't invest simply for the sake of the love for the country. They invest because they're getting something out of it. And I always make example to my community when I go there. I say, back in the days, all of a sudden you say, oh, Ghana received 1,000 tractors, free. There's nothing free. We go out there and we cut tapes and do fanfare. But for the next 50 years, we're buying parts from the country that donated the buses. And we're creating employment for them, while we are here just consuming. So these are some of the things we have to look at. And I bring enough experience and expertise in that direction to support my minister. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. But my last question, and that is, you mentioned that your role in your sector is pivotal in nature. And looking at the span of work that you have to undertake, and most of the time it takes you out of the country. Do you think that having just one deputy minister will help you address the issues that is facing your ministry at this point in time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I think Minority Leader has asked a very important question again, and I can assure her that given the limited amount of ministers the President decided to appoint. This is part of our manifesto pledge, and we intend to honor that. And for that reason, I think he's put a lot of consideration into his appointees to see how strong and how formidable they are going to be able to handle the work that is assigned to them. And I can assure you, I'm relentless, and I'm a globe trotter. So traveling is nothing to me at all. I'm used to it, so I can handle it. And I think Minister Blackwell and myself should be able to handle the sector effectively. Thank you.
Finally, Honorable, I wish you well, but I would like to find out something very critical. As a Ghanaian, I always meet you on the corridors, hoping to speak Fanti with you, but I never get it. Do you speak Fanti?
Thank you, and thank you, Chairman. Mpocho Mtefanti. And I'm a country super. Thank you.
I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Zurera, I'm going to permit you to ask one and only one question as a friend of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Thank you for your magnanimity. Congratulations once again, my brother. Yapume.
Mpocho Boko.
Yeah. Chairman, before I ask my question, I just want us to look at page 2 of the nominees' CV. But I page 2. In 1971, Winneba Teachers College, Ghana, General Education.
Please, when you speak the Fanti, then you speak English so that we can, the hands that can capture it.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, on your CV, nominee, Winneba Teachers College, General Education, Teaching, Diploma, 1971. I happen to have grown up in Winneba, and I want to assume that I grew up on the same campuses where you obtained the General Education Teaching Diploma. And I think I know that it was called Advanced Teachers Training College, Winneba. They had both the North and the South campuses. The North campus was the Specialist Training College. So I want to know whether this was the same place where you had your teacher education.
Thank you, yes. This is the same college, yes.
So will you want to beg leave of the chair and amend it accordingly?
Thank you, Chair. I will request amendment. Thank you.
Leave granted. Go ahead.
So thank you very much. My one question.
Hold on. Leaders want my attention, so let's give him the opportunity. You're on the floor, leader.
Yeah. Honorable Zuera, Chair, thank you for the opportunity. I wasn't born early enough, so I would want this clarification from you. Since we are all from Winneba, if I heard you correctly, you said we had Advanced Teacher Training College, and then Specialist Training College. And the Advanced Teacher Training College was in the South Campus, and Specialist Training College was North Campus. Yeah, well, I was born in 78, and I came to Major, and I attended Specialist Training College Preparatory Demonstration School. And after the Advanced Teacher Training College Demonstration School, I grew up knowing the two institutions to be separate, distinct in their nomenclature. However, when former president brought all together, we had National Academy of Music, which was also an independent institution, and brought all three, STC, NAM, and ATTC. Then STC became North Campus, ATTC became South Campus. I just wanted clarification from you for the records. Was it that in your time, these two institutions were under one principal? Because when I was growing up, I knew that STC had its own principal, and then ATTC had its own principal, and the North and South campuses came by as a result of the establishment of the University College of Education, Winneba, then. So I just want clarification because you were before me, so that...
Thank you very much, Leader. Indeed, I was before you, and I attended the ATTC Demonstration Primary School, which was a completely separate institution. They had the two advanced specialist training colleges. The ATTC provide general teacher training colleges, where the special college provides special in custom designed disciplines like sports, catering, and I mean, that was special. But ATTC provided general training. At the time I was, and then we had, of course, the Music Academy. At the time I was there, Mr. Yanni was the principal of the Advanced Teachers Training College, and the STC had its own principal. Indeed, Mr. Yanni's son, Joel, who is the head of the oncology department at Kolebu, was my classmate in Winneba. So they were separate, two separate, and I want to believe that the nominee would have been at ATTC.
Yeah, they were separate, as Honorable Leader said.
So in other words, then it wasn't known as North and South. Okay, that's what I wanted you to clarify.
All right. No, it wasn't known as North and South. I just used that for the location purposes.
Nominee, your request still stands granted. So go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. I have one question, nominee. Ghana's foreign policy currently is standing in the middle of a lot of global and regional difficulties. We can worry about the Russia-Ukraine crisis. We have the challenges in the Sahel. We have the Israel-Gaza difficulties that has really put our foreign policy and diplomacy to test. But when we zero in home at ECOWAS and the current situation of ECOWAS, do you think that ECOWAS currently, as it stands, can stand the test of taking care of the security of our region? And is there anything that you will work with your minister, together with your minister, to do in order to strengthen Ghana's leadership at ECOWAS and to enable ECOWAS work closely with the Sahel countries to see whether there's a possibility of getting back on the democratic track and having a harmonious ECOWAS as we had before? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, my dear sister. I think we had earlier spoken about the fact that Ghana's foreign policy is initiated by Pan-Africanism as well as non-aligned. In regards to ECOWAS and the regional tension, you've seen that Ghana has taken the role of, regardless of the Sahel breaking away, Ghana has taken initiative to still maintain dialogue and diplomacy with these regions. Because you see, if you want to solve a problem, you try to make friends. You don't just fight, you know, because you cannot. We are neighbors to these countries. We share cultural values. We share even relationships. Some people are in Ghana who are related to others in Burkina. So we have to be very, very strategic in relationship with them. I've seen the Mahama administration, President Mahama administration already demonstrating some kind of regional or at least bilateral relations with these countries. You can't cut them off totally. And so with that ongoing diplomacy, in my capacity as a deputy, I will tour along with the executive direction, as well as the Minister Blackwa's onward look, and we work together to make sure that I've always said I'm a Pan-Africanist, and I wish, I personally even wish someday to come we would not have any boundaries in our countries, and try to abolish this colonial mentality about, you know, being different people from different planets. We are here together and we have a common goal. The West don't see an African as Ghanaian or as Cote d'Ivoire or Burkina. They see you as black. They call you African, but we are inside Africa dividing ourselves. So this is a problem. This is some of the principles and values I have that I'm going to support my minister together. And I also know that he's also a strong advocate for Pan-Africanists. And we're going to work together and try to reach out with, and Mr. President is also a very open-minded person that we can always engage. And I'm sure he has his own thoughts and reasons why he put me alongside with Minister Blakwa. So we're going to work together to make sure that we don't fume the situation in our borders, but rather, and then give ECOWAS time to realign, you know, their relationship with the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Congratulations. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Shaibu, you have the floor now.
Mr. Chairman, I'm exceedingly grateful for the opportunity. Congratulations, my brother. Public service has always been one of the unattractive places to work. Indeed, most people sacrifice to serve their nation. Given where you have come from, given the in and outs of court and the rest of that, and as a Pan-Africanist, do you have any regrets that you opted to come and serve your nation and you went through such? And if so, why? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. No word of a regret at all, to answer it bluntly. But I want to assure you that sometimes we all engage in a line of work that we don't even know why we are involved. During my challenging times, of course, I did ask myself many times, why am I doing this? But there was no answer to it. They said, if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Especially when I came home and I saw the condition of life of my people. It touched my heart. And you know, I think you work in life. There's nothing like, I always say to people, my happiest moment is when I put a smile in the destitute person's face. It's worth to me more than millions. I've grown among family members, I've grown around family friends, wealthy people, filthy wealthy. I have to say I grew up as a privileged child, looking at the life of other people. But I always remember my mom and dad were sharing to the community. And maybe it affected me. So despite all the years I spent out there, I came back to see what I can contribute to my people. And it's still very fulfilling to me. I know some of the things I went through were mainly political, maneuvering, but I don't take it personally. At the end of the day, it's over. I have to look forward and fulfill the vision I came to town with. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Thank you.
On that note, I wish you very well in your new career.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I will now be granting the floor to the minority leader, and then hopefully, in the absence of the chairman, I will conclude and bring the curtain to a close. So, Honorable Minority Leader, you have the floor.
Honorable colleague, we on this side of the House, the minority, acknowledge your nomination as Deputy Foreign Minister, Regional Integration. Of course, recognizing your parliamentary service for Asin North and extensive Canadian experience. Your nomination comes at a critical period of Ghana's diplomacy. It's marked by the recent Washington story, which came to the floor of the House. The need to realign complex geopolitical issues, climate change, evolving economic partnerships. Without doubt, as a deputy minister, should you go through the North, should you get a North, you will serve under a minister who operates under presidential direction. Your role demands supporting ministerial leadership in implementing Ghana's foreign policy, whilst bringing international perspective to diplomacy and its challenges. However, I note from your CV that your background is in social services rather than diplomacy. And this may raise issues of preparation for international relations, and it's also in all of its sophistications. My focus this afternoon will be to assess your readiness to support your minister in advancing Ghana's interests, while addressing the systemic diplomatic challenges that we face. In proceeding, I mean no disrespect to you when it comes to questions I'm going to ask you. I would want you to relax, be easy. You and I know that we share esprit de corps. And we've been together. All right, and I just have to do this job for the good of governance. I hope you bear with me. First, I've gone through your CV, and you have mentioned Professor Azar Kwekwasari and Mr. Tachu Chikata as your referees. How long have you known each of them?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I assume from the question that the Honorable Minority Leader would like to know my relationship with the two referees and how long I've known them. Yes, Mr. Tachu Chikata, surprisingly to some people, I've known Tachu Chikata from when we were at Infantsville. When I went to Form 1 secondary school at Infantsville, he was in lower 6. So we've known each other for a long time. His sister, Tachu's sister, was married to my cousin, Gacy. Gacy Lapidis, who is also passed away. And then Professor Poku, I've also known him over 10 years. We've been working hand in hand in regards to the Dual Citizenship Amendment Bill, that we seek counsel and communication from one another. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, in every question I will ask, I would, as much as possible, be very specific. In order not for us to spend long hours, try and be specific and bring clarity through brevity. I think that will help. Now, when this committee inquired from them through lawful authority, these two referees of yours had stated from Professor Azar, this is what he says. Professor Kweku Asare, subject character referee, is a 65-year-old and accounting professor who is lecturing at the University of Florida, USA. He confirmed he has known subject since 2020 and described him as calm, dedicated, and ambitious. Mr. Tachu Chikata, subject second character referee, is a 74-year-old and a senior lawyer at Fuga & Company, Ridge, Accra. He confirmed he has known the subject since 2020 as his lawyer and described him as dedicated, humble, and hardworking. So I just want you to briefly clarify from what they are saying and what you've just said.
Thank you, Chair. I think responses from the referees.
Do you think they were responded in context? Do you think they were responded in context?
I suggest so.
Very well. Let's make progress then. How old are you?
72.
Do you have with you, not necessarily here, a birth set to confirm that details?
You mean original birth certificate, Mr. Chair?
A birth set?
No, I don't have a birth set. I have a passport.
Passport is issued based on some original document or primary documents. The passport itself is a secondary document in my view. How did you acquire your passport? What details did you provide in terms of documentary proof of your age?
I do have the document, but I was responding to the readiness of it, but if I have to provide it, yes, I'll be able to provide it.
So you have a birth cert?
Yes, I do.
Oh, very well. Now, you lived abroad and came to Ghana and went back home to serve your people. May I know from you, what was the inspiration?
Thank you again. I think I sort of hinted that reason or the cause of it, but for the sake of minority leaders' question, what inspired me most, I would say, and I think this question was asked of me sometime in 2023, was my mom, and also late Professor Mills. My mom is also late. They both had influenced my thoughts. That it's always best to come and give your support to your home country, your community. Mind you, my mom was a queen mother in her community prior to her passing. And so when she last visited me in Canada, just before she was leaving to come home, this was back in May 2008. She had a private conversation with me and said, you should come home and help, because the people are going through a lot of challenges. Life is not easy. Professor Mills, on the other hand, was visiting Canada all the same.
Oh, life was not easy.
Yes.
Never mind.
For the people in the community.
Your community, very
Yes.
well. So share with us, then and now, having come in, share with us some specific impacts you've made. We would look at 3. 1, social services, specifically. What specific impacts have you made in terms of social services?
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. I taken office in 2021 with the limited time I had to engage with my communities. I would say under my leadership, we had a huge deficit of electricity, lighting, not electricity supply itself, but the community was almost 80% dark. And I know what that means to residents. I embarked on a massive street lighting, which I had brought, and some, of course, I did get from Parliament. Almost 2,500 street lights went throughout the city.
You mean from the government?
Not all from the government.
You said from Parliament?
I said some came from Parliament or the government, yes.
I mean, what is given to MPs
exactly
is from the government. The ministry writes to us that they've made these available.
Correct.
So I just wanted you to clarify that.
Okay. So periodically we get some street light supplies from the government through the ministry. So I had 2 distributions of such kind, 200 apiece at a time, which was about 400. But the bulk of it, about 2,000, I brought it in myself. That's when I started the electrification.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think, don't let's belabor. Infrastructure. Let's go to infrastructure.
Infrastructure, I have rehabilitated at least not less than about 6 schools. I've built about 2 schools. You also have to understand that I was doing all this under very much duress.
Don't worry.
Challenges.
Just,
so,
yes.
and it wasn't easy for me, but I tried the best I can. So
The
infrastructure.
renovations.
Excuse me.
The renovations.
Renovations.
The renovations of 6. Don't worry.
Yes.
The 6 schools you renovated. Did you have to rely on your common fund to do the renovation, or you had to take your hand into your pocket to do that?
It's halfway because the common funds was not sufficient.
Certainly.
I had to chip in. Yes.
That's fine. What about the 2 schools you built? Was it also common fund and your personal earnings?
The 2 schools are lobbied for and friends to put up those 2 schools.
Was it solely family and friends, or that one to common fund was supported the building of the
Some
schools?
of the materials, yes, got some support.
Which communities are these 2 schools?
There's one school in a community called Zambori, and then not Bediadua. There's another school called Abutaria.
So these are completely new, correct?
They are new, yes.
Now, in terms of individual empowerment to individuals, particularly women, have you something to share?
Thank you. Yes, I engage in vocational training for women.
How many have benefited so far in terms of sewing machines or hair dryers?
Over 200.
How about the male youth?
The male youth, I engage some of them into basic skills like helping them with their driver's license, because a lot of them were illegally driving or even using them. Yeah.
Very well. Now, I went to your community. Something struck me, and I've shared this with you privately.
Yes.
But I also think that it is good for democracy to say it publicly.
Okay.
When we went there, and forgive me anyway, don't be too offended, I was there to campaign for my candidate, or our candidate. Obviously, there was competition. And the various communities we visited, it wasn't about you. They say, this equation. So I was eager to find out why the man is not a DC, or was DC before. Then they said, oh, his dad, many years ago, what he did. This is something that struck me, and it made a positive impact on me, that whatever I'm also doing in Winneba, I should remember someday people saying these nice things about me when I'm dead and gone to my kids, that, oh, your dad. How would you say Daddy's records have helped your political career?
Thank you, Chair. I think Minority Chair is right on point. Dad was a very effective politician. He was the first appointed district commissioner in Kwame Nkrumah's administration. At the time, Asen was just one district. And Asen South, North, and Central, as we see today, was one district. So all the initial developments in that area was under his watch and his hands. He built secondary schools, he built training colleges, he recruited the police, set up police posts and stations. So, you know, I think majority...
Was it during his time that we had the Fosu Immigration College situated in
No,
Fosu?
the Immigration College was not... He was part of it. At the time, he was a civilian, but he was appointed a board member and a district assembly. But so I would say he was also part influence.
Okay, now you are in government. Fosu FOSU has an immigration training school. You are in government.
Correct.
Deputy Foreign Minister. You know a lot of your youth want to wear uniform.
Totally.
Do you hope to leverage all these contributions by Daddy and the community elders to get your people their fair share when it comes to recruitment? Do you hope to leverage on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Absolutely. Not even just immigration alone. I want to leverage on a lot of the forces because that will give this youth a secure future, whether it's police, immigration, fire service, prisons. But most importantly, as you said, this has never really happened because even though the school is in that community, it looks as though they are always shortchanged.
So the youth of Asen North should be expectant.
I can guarantee that. Thank
Very
you.
well. You are 74 or 2?
2.
Should they expect you to continue for a third term?
Minority Leader.
Yes, Uncle.
I'll be lobbying that through you if possible, and I'm sure that Synod people are very eager and anxious for my leadership.
Chair, this is your committee. You can have your liberty, and I'll come back after.
Nominee, I expect you to continue. Your first term was actually more or less denied.
Thank you, sir.
You know, Uncle Kweku doesn't throw low blows, but if he decides to throw one, he throws it well. Very well. So, with this early announcement, you must be aware that your style of retail politics has helped you. And you know that because of social media, our youth are so anxious to connect with leadership. How do you hope to fill that gap? Foreign Minister, Deputy Foreign Minister, a lot of travel.
Thank you. I think, you see, my style of administration has been such that I believe in outsourcing, not saying even outsourcing, but delegating. I do a lot of delegation to people.
So you will delegate?
I will delegate
Very
a
well.
lot of it. Thank
Very
you.
well. Now, let's look at your area. And I'm just going to deal with diplomatic competency and professional readiness. It seems to me that your background centers on social services and community development rather than international relations or formal diplomatic training. Given the complex demand, as I've already said, you will effectively be supporting your minister without compromising Ghana's position in high-stakes international engagement. How do you hope to navigate this new area of multilateral negotiation, treaty framework, and diplomatic protocols? This is not your area.
Thank you. I think if you look back to some of my interests that I have held before, it will be very interesting for you to know that for over 12 years I was engaged with African newcomers in Canada for almost 12 good years, even in between when I was a student, because they lack representation they didn't have the resources to retain a lawyer. During that period, Ontario didn't have a policy of giving legal counsel to refugees or people who are claiming to be refugees or illegal immigrants. I offered myself with the agency that I belong to, is called it CANAT. CANAT simply means Canadian African Newcomers Association. I led them to immigration hearings, made sure they were able to present their cases.
So, Honorable Nominee, from what you are saying, you're basically telling this committee that although you don't have such direct training in this area, you will leverage on experience to enable you to achieve so, correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Very well. What specific diplomatic training, now that you are not there, in terms of international knowledge, foreign service expertise, do you hope to acquire as you get on the job? Can you share with us your readiness to get some training, or your readiness to pursue rigorously some proper understanding of international law to enable you properly assist your minister?
Thank you. I believe in most learning on the job. As we all know, most of us here as legislators, we came from different walks of lives, but here we are legislating and making rules for the country. So in my capacity, with my maturity, my experience, my exposure, I can assure you, Honorable Leader, that I will be able to meet the task. Recently, I was there for briefing. I got about 12 directors who came on the board room to brief me up. I felt instantly connected. I am someone also who was always interested in current affairs and foreign policies and foreign happenings. Whether it's Iran, whether it's Ukraine, Russian war, I can give you a whole analysis of the Soviet Union. I have lived through presidents from Carter right through to Trump, and I follow every aspect of international politics. So
very well.
I'm very much confident. Thank you.
Honorable Member and Nominee, I'm not going to be personal here, but I am situating my question in context. So bear with me. I just want to get to a point so that we can navigate. You are Christian, correct?
Correct.
You know, in Christianity, some Christian churches forbid alcohol. Others do not. My church, for instance, I'm a Catholic. Catholics are not against alcohol. But it doesn't mean that you should be a drunkard as a Catholic. Your Christianity that you practice, is alcohol forbidden?
You mean my religion?
First you answered you were Christian.
Yes.
Yes, so I mean, yes. You know, Christianity is in different forms.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so I'm saying that some Christians, some Christian churches, like the Charismatics, the Pentecostals, they say no to alcohol completely. I don't know of Methodists, but I'm a Catholic, so I'm speaking for Catholic. Catholic, we are not forbidden. It doesn't mean that as a Catholic you should be a drunkard. I want to know from you, your Christian group,
I think I'm also a Methodist Christian. And
you take wine,
and
shall